Vyas Media Network. What exactly are we doing when it comes to IT?
The IT courses at the technical level, so this is for secondary level
Yeah,
education, right?
yeah.
So it's what it trains you to become is, or where the graduates are of this program are usually in shops repairing laptops, repairing mobile phones. So that is what it trains you to become. On the hardware side. On the software side, it provides you the basis to start knowing about software, learning a few things, and then you probably have to do a higher degree to really get into actual.
But that's a fantastic step forward, right? That's
Yeah.
a good stepping stone towards a better future.
Yes, exactly.
Within that sector. That's fantastic.
And there is a bunch of other opportunity like media, in media, or let's say web designer, or I see that a lot of schools don't have websites, and these young people could be trained in we have an occupation in Switzerland called mediamatician. It's a hybrid occupation, IT, design, and commercial aspects.
Mediamatician. I like that a lot.
Mediamatician,
Yeah,
yes.
I like that a lot. Demand of TVET outside Nepal?
The demand of TVET outside is huge. And the driver behind is digital transformation. Because, digital transformation leads to a fast change of qualification requirement in the labor market. Mm-hmm. And that means schools, the less they are dynamic and change curriculum and know what the labor market is looking for, the more they are disconnected from the labor market. And that produces skills mismatch. And the only solution for that is co-production of skills so that the student can learn. It's also challenging universities. I just heard the vice chancellor of the Kathmandu University saying that even university graduates need this type of skills, otherwise they find not a job in the labor market. The problem is the fast change of these qualification requirements is telling you the company want to have transferable skills. They want to see whether you have a good attitude, whether you're a good human being, whether you are a problem solver, whether you have a work ethic which helps me as a company to do anything, to solve any problem. That means it's not so important whether you have learned Java programming language. It's more important that you are flexible to adapt to what is new. And that means these so-called soft skills, they cannot be well trained in the school setting because you have to be exposed several times to a certain situation to get that kind of soft skills. And that's why worldwide the trend is going towards TVET. But, and this is the advantage for Nepal, you need industry association who are committed, industry association who want to care about that, who help to coordinate with schools and so on. And in a lot of countries, they don't have industry association. The good news here, and we will present that tomorrow, you have that. The only thing that the industry need to better understand is what is their role in education, role, responsibility, and what kind of training they can provide.
I was reading on this and I remember writing it down. In 2013, there was an article that the government had proposed making grade 12 completion of grade 12 a requirement for enrolling in TVET courses, right? Where do we stand on this now? Or this was just an article that was there and nothing like this has ever happened?
It has not happened.
Okay. So I'd read...
When did you say the article was?
This was 2013. It was mentioned somewhere in the 2023 article. Nothing along that line, right? No. So the government's completely open.
But the government need to have the money first to do that,
Yeah.
I mean, if that is mandatory, you have to check the demographic figures and you have to have much more students in those programs. And then also the question is, what kind of program? Again, I go back to what those young professionals want. And I would say half of them don't want to go to school. They want to start to create their own life. And that means they need TVET.
When it comes to GDP as well, right? There's around X amount of percentage that we definitely go ahead and contribute when we go ahead and go through the program, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's something that we definitely need to go ahead and highlight over time.
GDP contribution by TVET.
Definitely, right? The contribution of TVET to the GDP is higher than the contribution of administrative and supportive services activities. That's what. There's another solid article that I was going through yesterday as well,
it goes back to what I said. Yes, if it's a 24-month apprenticeship or is a dual apprenticeship, where the companies train young people and get a productive new source, human capital in the company, and whether it pays off, because that's the precondition to grow. And if the company can grow, of course, they contribute to the productivity and to the GDP.
And the ratio that we were talking about earlier when it comes to men and women signing up as well for the program?
Yeah, I think that has increased over the years, right? Healthcare always had a high percentage. But I think people are starting to get into these, let's say, more male occupations, from hotel management, IT, civil engineering. We had a huge upsurge in number of applications for civil engineers, so from when we started the apprenticeship program in 2019, it was 20%. The last intake, this was the 2023 intake, it was 47% female applicants. So when you can have really role models who can show that, okay, you can become like a mechanical technician.
Yeah.
You're welding, you're doing the machine operations, and you can be a female and do that.
Yeah.
And then next year your supervisors are that.
Yeah.
Then the attraction of that occupation really goes up. So it's also, the other thing about the apprenticeship, the randomized controlled trial, what it showed was the effect on the woman to find employment was much larger. I think Ursula can talk a lot more on it than I can, but yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, that was a surprising fact, I have to say. And but I agree with you. We need to bring those success factors or those successful young professionals into the spotlight so that they can tell the story. It's all about influencing your peers. If you have made the good experience, you should share that, and you should get a platform to share that. And of course, media is one source, but panel discussion is another one. Social media campaign is a third one. I definitely say that the gender bias issue is an issue in all the country,
not just here,
including Switzerland. Yeah, of course, yes, and it's deeply rooted in our society. We have a in Switzerland we think women are made for that and men are made for something else. This has a very long tradition, and we can do whatever innovative project we want. We don't get rid of that. And so then you have to accept it. And the other side is, what is the market looking for? I would say I would not plan that, how many women are here and what they want to do. We have to see what opportunities are there, and then try to through career guidance is a topic I'd like to also discuss. Through career guidance, identify what are the preferences of the young people. And then it's always about option 1, option 2, option 3. Because mostly, if you have a well-established, let's say, dual apprenticeship system, it's a market behind. It's a market of opportunity, and it's a market with young people who want to do something. And you have to do a matchmaking. So who fits for which of open position in what area? And this is a market. In Switzerland, we have 80,000 per year, or even 100,000 people in this market. And of course, in average, that works. But if you go in a certain province, you may have a mismatch between demand and supply. And that means the career guidance can help the young person to evaluate option 1, option 2, and option 3. And for me, my lessons learned after being about 35 years in this business, nowadays, because of this fast change in the world, it's not so important what you are doing in your first education. It's more important that you are doing something, that you get to a certificate, and then the world is open to you, and the world will change, and therefore you need to continue with your education.
तपाईले हाम्रो क्लिप एकदमै एन्जॉय गर्नुभयो होला। अब पुरै भिडियो हेर्नको लागि चाहिँ युट्युबमा सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सिनु होला। व्यास मिडिया नेटवर्क।